As a police officer, I think, unfortunately, we have the opportunity to see the worst of the worst. We see violent deaths in car accidents. We see people that take their own lives. And we see violent crimes where people in our society, for whatever reason, decide they are going to take the life of someone else. Those situations are extremely hard to deal with and reconcile in your mind, but as a police officer, you're trained to arrive on scene and handle the situation and we're trained not to let our emotions get in the way of doing our job. But like any other human being, we feel those emotions, and a lot of times it will come to the surface later, like it's starting to do with me right now. But I always thought, as I was going through my day-to-day work, I wonder what happened with this family who lost a child due to some type of tragic event, either a pool drowning or a car accident. And I mean, even here on island, since we've been here, there have been incidences where a family member accidentally backed over one of the children. I can't imagine the trauma that family and that person is going through. So as a police officer, I always thought, I wonder how those folks are doing. I wonder if they got the help they needed. Well, when I heard about NKOE and I found out I could be involved as a facilitator, I was on board. And I've had an opportunity to actually get involved and work with adults, work with children that have suffered a loss, and it's been a huge benefit to all of us involved. I think I get as much out of the experience, perhaps, as some of the people going through. Working with children, and I've had the opportunity to work with both small children, ages 6 and below, 5 and 6 years of age, and also recently I've had a chance to work with some teens and even preteens. And I've noticed in both situations, different groups handle going through this grief process very differently. Young kids will play and like to interact, and while they're playing, if they're drawing or they're playing a game, and I'm talking about young kids, at the strangest of moments, they will get very, very lucid and very focused, and they'll talk about the loss of their dad, the loss of their mom, and for a very short period of time, and then it's right back to playing. And that is just, from our training, the method in which young people, young kids, process grief. Now, working with teens and preteens, a whole different story. Many of them are very shut down. Their body language is really, really telling when they show up to one of these groups. They look like, I don't really want to be here. I don't know why mom or dad drugged me here, but I'm here. And to their credit, they make the best of it. And what I really enjoy seeing is the change that goes through these young people once they've had a chance to interact with other young people that have gone and experienced a loss. And once again, it doesn't matter whether that loss was very, very traumatic or sudden, or a loss of somebody that had a long-term illness. The loss that they're feeling is still the same. They miss mom, they miss dad, they wish they were there, and on more than one occasions, I've heard the teens say or reference, and not so much in a direct way, but kind of a roundabout way, that they feel guilty about what happened. And it's not until they have a chance to interact with other teens or preteens that they realize, hey, wait a minute, what I'm feeling, this person next to me is feeling the same thing. And that, I believe, gives them a feeling of normalcy. Because when they're at school and they're around other friends that haven't experienced a similar type of loss, through their own words, they tell me, my friends don't understand. My teachers don't understand. A lot of my family members don't understand how I feel. But when I come to group, it gives me a chance to talk to other people of my own peer group that have that understanding. And they really enjoy the opportunity to share. It doesn't come overnight. I've seen young people that will sit there and be very, very quiet. When asked a direct question, why are you here today? They will say, I'm here because my dad died, my mom died, my grandmother passed away. But that's about it. But over the long haul and the interaction, next group, sometimes something is said by one of the other people in the group that opens them up. It strikes a nerve, and they start to open up. And what I've seen most recently is that young people that were very, very closed, very, very much within their own world, even when one of their own siblings started to open up and be more open, that gave them an opportunity to share more, and they were willing to do that. It's a great experience to see that door open for them and watch them walk through. For parents out there, adults out there, close family members that are of adult age, if you have a young family member in your family that has experienced a loss, and you've experienced that loss, and you think you're okay, and you think that young person is okay, maybe you ought to check yourself a little bit. And if you're in that place where all of us live busy lives, and I know here on island, sports activities are a huge outlet for everybody, and I know personal friends of ours, they always are running from one place to another with their kids and taking them to one sporting event or music, and while all of that's great, I urge you to prioritize your well-being, your personal mental health, and even more so than yourself, if you have a child or a close family member that has experienced this loss, don't make the assumption that they're okay because you don't see any evidence that they're not. One thing I learned in police work is always assume that there's more to a story than what appears on the surface, because there always is. So prioritize that child, because that child needs you to do that for them, and get that help that that child needs if it's out there and available, and it is. Now, NKOE Volunteer is an organization that is here to help people on the island, adults, young people, small people, all alike, and it's absolutely free. Doesn't cost you anything but your time. And if you think you are too busy to find help for your child, you need to reprioritize your schedule and make the time to make that person well. Make the time to let that person know that you care enough about them That even if they're saying, no, I'm fine, I don't need the help, that may be just their way of saying, no, I really do want you to help, but I know you're busy, you don't need to bother with me. Take the time. Make the effort. You will be so glad if you do, and you will, if you don't take the time, I don't even want to think about how you are going to deal with your emotions after the fact, after something else tragic happens to that child. You don't want to be there. I guarantee you, you don't want to experience that. Find the time. Make the time. Put that child a top priority for you. That would be my recommendation.